So in June, Rob Hahn and I discussed not one, not two, but three cases and his thoughts on how it will go. And I would like to point out, Rob, that from that discussion, most of what you predicted has become true, specifically the outcome for Sitzer Burnett case and the incredibly disappointing lack of preparation for the industry and copycat real estates, which we will, or copycat real estates, good Lord, copycat lawsuits, which we will discuss.
Yep.
So since that recording, a lot has happened. So if we could quickly recap where the existing cases stand. So at that time, there were three. And the first one was No Select that we just talked about in Massachusetts.
Yep.
So that one currently stands where?
It is still ongoing. MLS PIN has settled, or at least they reached a settlement agreement. The judge had done a preliminary approval. The Department of Justice has then objected to that. So last I heard, that the judge has not done a final approval.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to become real relevant as we talk about Sitzer and what happens next.
Right.
So that's where that one is. Sitzer, as we know, went to trial. The verdict came down after a mere 2.5-hour deliberation.
Wild.
That's going to be relevant.
Yeah.
The jury held for the plaintiffs and they awarded full damages, which was 1.785 billion, which under automatic trebling of Antitrust Act should be 5.35 billion. Nobody has that kind of money. But anyway, all right. So that's where that one is. We are now waiting for essentially the final ruling, right? So the jury delivering the verdict doesn't mean it's over. Now the judge actually has to come out and issue a ruling, right? Including probably injunctive relief. I have no idea how long that's going to take. I'm assuming it'll take a week or two, maybe longer. Like, it depends on how carefully he wants to craft that. And then from the moment that ruling is issued, NAR and the defendants have 30 days to appeal.
Okay. I was wondering what the time frame was on that. Because their due memberships are coming up at the end of the year too.
Yeah. Most agents have already received their, renewal notices, and they have to pay it by the end of the year. So,
right, which is bad timing, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And it's important to say that anywhere. So that's Coldwell Banker, Better Homes Garden, Sotheby's, Corcoran, Century 21, and Remax for the Sitzer and the Merrill case have settled.
Actually, and No Select jumped in as well. So
did they jump in? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're out.
Now, the settlement agreement, which we can get into, has something they're calling the settlement class. And the idea there being, for the settlement only, it will cover the entire country.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. It's a bizarre thing. I was looking into it too. It's like, what? I don't make it. It's like, no. So for settlement only, what they're purporting to do is create a, quote, settlement class.
Okay.
Right? So it's like a plaintiff's class action, but they're only doing it for settlement.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure how that works, because you are foreclosing, the ability of future plaintiffs to sue. But, as long as the court approves it, like,
so
that's
no one could go after them. But if there's 1.7 billion, well, more than that, obviously, times 3. So do they have to contribute to that, or do they only contribute what they settled for?
Exactly that.
Why wouldn't
yeah, so this is like, I think I said this on my little podcast with Greg. This is going to end up like Ryan Schneider, the CEO of Anywhere, and Nick Bailey are like the executives of the year, because it's the best 55 and 83.5 million they ever spent.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
So that's where that is. And then, of course, hours after, like, not even hours, like minutes after the verdict came down, the same lawyer who's filed Sitzer filed a new case called Gibson, where it's NAR plus 7 brokerages, right, that were not part of either Sitzer or Morrow.
Right, which you predicted. Everyone's in trouble.
Copycat lawsuits. Here we go. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's the latest.
And then the Merrill case, that isn't supposed to go to trial until earlier next year, right?
That's right. Early 24.
Right. And so Remax and Anywhere are done
Out. Yep.
out,
Yep.
leaving Keller Williams,
EHHS.
Berkshire,
Yep.
NAR,
And NAR. Yep. The
all
same three.
the same three that already owe like 5 billion
Yeah.
to appeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
So that's
All
where we're
right,
at.
so